Well, summer's over and I've gotten my last mow in, but the Craftsman lawnmower can be a year-round machine with the snowblower attachment. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install that attachment for the winter. This snowblower attachment does a great job of keeping our driveway clear in even the worst snowstorms. So this is going to be for model number 486.248374, and I've linked this manual in the video description box below. Now, I bought mine secondhand, so it came assembled already. Now, I do have tire chains and wheel weights, and you'll see those later on in the video. But these instructions will show you how to put all the little pieces together. Like I said, mine was already assembled, so we're just going to be putting the pulley bracket and the actual blower on the lawnmower and taking the mower deck off. And you can see I already have the muffler shield off, and I just leave it off now. So I keep the snowblower attachment out in the shop, and I just pull the lawnmower up, and it's heavy, so I just kind of work it onto these pins here, and that slides right in those slots. And then you have this giant pin that slides through, and that's what supports the attachment. Now, it's heavy, so you really want to have a helper with you when you do this. One of the great things about this attachment is that all of these brackets can stay on all year long. So once you bolt them to the frame of the lawnmower, that's it. They stay on. They don't interfere with the mower deck attachment or any other implements you may use with the 3-point hitch attachment. And with all that weight on those front tires, now you can see the tire sagging. So we want to make sure that we have our tires inflated. Okay, first step to getting the mower deck off is drop it all the way down, and then pull these pins out of the very front of the mower. And they're difficult to pull out by hand, so I try to use some sort of screwdriver to help pull them out. And then another trick I like to do is put all the pins back, and trust me, you're really going to thank yourself in spring when you're not trying to figure out where the pins go. I fold these little front bars back in on the mower deck. Okay, now we're just going to repeat pulling all the pins out all the way around. This one is the crossbar that keeps the mower deck centered underneath the lawnmower, and then I put the pin back. And then repeat for the pins on the left and right side, and these are the supports that raise the mower deck up and down. With those out of the way, you just roll the deck forward a little bit and the belt falls right off. Before you can get the mower deck out, you need to raise the level adjustment back up all the way to full height. And now it's just a matter of wiggling and jiggling to slide that mower deck out from underneath the lawnmower. And now we're going to look at the forward pin brackets. These are the ones that I had to fabricate. And then this is the rear, and it's just a longer bolt with a shoulder on it. So this is also easy to fabricate with some spacers. Here's the right side. Again, I had to fabricate this. And there's the left side. And if you note kind of where the holes are on the frame in this video, you can kind of see where these bolts are supposed to be added on. Now here's our pulley attachment. So this takes and attaches to the engine, and then it has transfer pulleys that attach to the belt drive on the actual snowblower. First thing to do is pull the pins out that I put there last spring, and I just store them up on the footwells there. Then slide the pulley bracket underneath, and it actually goes in pretty easily. Those rear slots slide up on the elongated bolts with the bolt heads sticking on the inside of the frame. and then just lift up the front, and we slide the pins in from the outside, and so they're just going to have a little bit of pin sticking on the inside holding that bracket to the lawnmower, but it's plenty and I haven't had a problem with it in 2 years. And then they have retaining clips that get slid through to hold those pins in place. And the factory ones may look and function a lot differently, but this is what I came up with since I didn't have the brackets. I believe they're still bolted to the guy's lawnmower that I bought it from. And then repeat on the left side. So now that the pulley bracket is in place, you can release the tension, and so the left side spring is for the engine tensioner, and then that'll allow you to slide the belt around the engine pulley, and then you're just going to tension that pulley back up. And I get it pretty tight because I find that the belts have a tendency to throw themselves in the winter if you hit too much snow, so they do need to be tight on there. And now I'm feeding the snowblower pulley back underneath the lawnmower, and it's just a matter of getting it around these pulleys in the correct direction. So the camera's on the left side of the lawnmower, and then you can note the belt pulley orientation. Now the snowblower belt's tensioner is on the right side of the lawnmower, and this one has more of a tendency to fall off, and so you can see I've lost the chain already that comes with the lawnmower, and I just kind of made my own out of decorative chain that you can get at a hardware store, and then bent in some pins for it. And this one you definitely want to get tight to, and it's more when it bogs down in the snow that it has a tendency to get thrown. So now we're checking the belt, and yes, this belt does rotate 90 degrees between the main auger pulley and these idler pulleys. So you just want to make sure you didn't get an extra twist in there. And this is a good time to go ahead and do some maintenance before you start up for the winter. And so I like to just give all the cables and any pivoting points a shot of WD-40, because after sitting all summer, everything's kind of bound up and tight and doesn't want to move real well. You know, you get a lot of water and some salt in some of these places, so that WD will just help keep all that snow out of those. I get it on the rotating portion of the chute there, and then just kind of move everything around and get that WD worked in. Now I have a gravel driveway, and that's a real pain in the butt for any snowblower. So you could see what I did here is I took one of the bolts out for one of the shoes, and I put in a longer bolt, and then I ordered these wheelchair wheels off of Amazon, and I can slide them on when I'm doing the gravel portion of my driveway, put a washer on, and then I keep a socket on my drill all winter long. And I just kind of quickly run that down with the drill. But you can see now this lets it float just that much over the gravel, and that turns out to be just enough. That way the tires can still bite through and the tractor can still drive, but it still does a good job of clearing out the gravel. So you're definitely going to want to have tire chains for your lawnmower when you're doing this. Otherwise, the turf tires just kind of spin on the snow and ice. And especially if you're doing a gravel driveway and you're leaving that little bit of 1/2 inch to 1 inch of snow, you're going to need the chains to get through that snow and keep blowing snow. So you want to note where your latches and your hooks are on the chains when you put them down. You want to make sure the latches are on the outside and the hooks are on the inside. And then just position the lawnmower over the chains, and you can kind of manhandle these chains around. The lawnmower's not too heavy there. But you can also see I have the 60-pound tire weights for this model DYT 4000 lawnmower. So you get the rears pulled around, and depending on what size chains you get and where you get them from will depend on how you size them. I found these on Amazon, and I believe they were fairly cheap, but they've worked really good. I can't imagine using this thing without them. Okay, and they're a little bit finicky to get cinched up on the outside just because you're trying to put a lot of tension there, and the little latch is kind of small. So just keep wiggling and jiggling those chains, moving everything around until it clips in. And even after it clips in, you're going to need to tension them up probably one more time after you start driving it around. So then we're just going to repeat the same process on the other side with the wiggling and jiggling and repositioning. These wheel weights are kind of a pain to get on and off the tire, so I just leave them on all year long. And these tires haven't leaked down any air since I've put them on there. But if they did, you'd have to take the wheel weights off to get to the valve stems. Now I found that the snowblower leaves rust marks in your garage, so just a quick tip, throw down a rubber mat and let the rust get on that. And it looks like I need one more for where the chains sit. So that's it for getting the snowblower all set up. Now we're all set to blow snow when the storms start coming. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, I'd appreciate giving it a like, and I hope you'll consider subscribing for more DIY content in the future.